Yo, yo, what is up, everybody? How's everyone doing today? Hope y'all are doing good. Not a huge turnout today. I guess, what time is it? 5 o'clock? Is this not a good time? What could everyone possibly be doing on a Thursday at this time? All right. So, I apologize in advance, guys, if I am a little bit slow today because I am still recovering from the insanity that was Shambhala. Was a ton of fun, super duper fun. It's an amazing festival full of amazing people. But I'm old, man. 33 now. I went to Shambhala for 5 years in my 20s, and sleeping in a tent, or the lack of sleep in a tent, and just the consistent partying for days in a row hits a little harder at this age than it did back then. But we survived. We got our wook on. We got our rave on. We partied. We had a good time. Did some extracurriculars, saw some great music, did a lot of dancing. Lots of memories were made and then shortly after forgotten, but holy smokes, yeah. Tough on the old noggin. It's crazy, like obviously my head hurts from the partying, but my body hurts, man. Like my back from all the walking and the dancing and the standing, my knees, my feet. So if I were to go again, I think I wouldn't go for the entire weekend. I don't think I need to do that anymore. I think you can accomplish a lot of Shambhala in a day or two. But it was a ton of fun. I'm happy to be home. Here's the good news, guys, for you. I am home from now until the end of August when my brother, whose bachelor party I was just at Shambhala, gets married. So from now until the end of August, I'm home, which means my videos should be more consistent. So back to the 2 streams a week, the condensed stream. I'm hoping I can get some other kind of educational focused videos out in that time as well. But yeah, it's going to be the longest period of time where I've been home consistently in some time now. So I'm really excited about that because I need it. I need a break. So I'm going to be working out, trading, making videos for you guys is the plan for the rest of the summer here. And obviously we'll do my best to get that content going for you guys. So hopefully me being home doesn't mean that the market just does jack shit. Hopefully we get some volatility. Had a little bit of a dumperooski while I was gone. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously. It's still a little bit too early to tell. But happy to be home, and I'm excited to kind of get back on a more regular schedule with the content production. So we've got some people tuning in here. Come on and like the video, and we're going to jump into it in a moment. I got to give a real quick shout out to Smartx. So you guys know this new stream is in partnership with Smartx. So this is where I'll be doing all of my on-chain trading for the foreseeable future. Their coin just recently hit SDEX all-time high. It also just recently became deflationary. So lots of innovation going on Smartx. They're trying to be the #1 place to do DeFi. Swaps, liquidity, farming, staking. This is going to be the place you're going to want to do it in this next bull run. There's going to be lower fees, better profits. It's fully decentralized. The token itself is deflationary. So on every transaction, the actual token is burned. Their meme game is on point, which you guys know is important. The meme game is on point. Their Twitter is good. And now they're multi-chain. So as you can see here, now you can trade on Ethereum, Polygon, Arbitrum, and BNB, all on the Smartx website. So if you're interested in supporting me, you're interested in supporting the growth of my YouTube channel and more videos and things like that, check out Smartx. I've left all of their information in the description of this video with regard to their social media, blogs, and all that sort of things. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me directly. But yeah, this is a great option if you're looking for a place to do your DeFi trading. So with that being said, let's get into the shitcoining. So we're going to start with the big papa shitcoins. We're going to start with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. And then we are going to look at the US dollar shitcoin. Then we're going to look at the US stock market shitcoin. And then we're going to look at the ultimate shitcoin, the greatest shitcoin call potentially in my entire career that I, of course, made no money on. Harry Potter, Sonic, Obama, 10 Inu. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, 10 Inu, excuse me. So we're going to cover these 5 charts here, rapid fire, and then I will open up the floodgates. You guys can hit me with the tokens that you want me to chart, and we'll go from there. So very quickly, we're going to start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, what's going on here? Not much has changed for me on the Bitcoin front. I'm still looking for lower prices. Ideally, I would still like to buy Bitcoin down here. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but right now it's looking like, I'm potentially going to be right. We still have this untouched liquidity level here on the weekly. So this is something to be cautious of if you are a bear. There's still a chance that we run this level before any sort of larger correction, or maybe we correct and then we run that level. But I do think at some point in the near future, this level gets tagged. Whether we go lower first, which looks more likely, I don't know yet. But I'm of the mindset that Bitcoin trades lower soon based on my view of equities and my view on the dollar. We've had a ton of good news for crypto lately, a ton with regard to ETFs, with Elon, rebranding Twitter to now X and, saying that he's going to probably implement some crypto in there. We have just a lot of bullish headwinds. We have the halvening, less than a year away. We have a lot of bullish narratives behind Bitcoin and crypto in general, and the market's not really moving up. So I've talked about this a lot in previous videos. Generally, in a bullish market, the market should shake off bad news and it should react really strongly to bullish news. Like when Tesla started accepting Bitcoin, we rallied like crazy, right? When FTX happened, the market fucking nuked. When Luna happened, the market fucking nuked. Because the market itself was bearish. So a bullish market should have good news, have a good impact, and shouldn't really be too negatively affected by bad news, and vice versa. A bearish market is going to react bearishly to bad news and is not really going to get a bump on good news. And so what's worrisome about Bitcoin is how much positive headwinds we have going on right now. And we failed to even close above a new high here. So this was your kind of BlackRock ETF announcement here, okay? And yeah, we got a big pump, but failed to close to a new high. And now we're just struggling up here. So it's hard for me to be super high time frame bullish until we start putting in bullish market structure again. So the plan remains the same in that we have a clear invalidation here. So this BlackRock ETF low, right? This remains the invalidation for your high time frame bullishness. The problem is this level is at 25K. Price can come really far down and then make a higher low, still respecting this market structure. But if you're long from here, you definitely don't want to hold throughout this drawdown, right? So that's kind of my high time frame view. I'm still bullish based on this structure. Okay, we need to make a higher high. So somewhere in this pullback needs to be a higher low, right? For that bullish high time frame momentum to continue, maybe for that, 35, 36K area that we've talked about in the past. That's what needs to happen high time frame. And we still have a lot of wiggle room here on the weekly, as long as we're respecting that low, of the BlackRock ETF. Now, what you don't love is the fact that we've got all this bullish news, we've got these bullish headwinds, and we aren't really getting the move up that you would expect, right? When you have all of this bullish news, you would think price would be more bullish. So that's something to consider. That's something to keep in mind, while you're just thinking of kind of the narratives around Bitcoin and kind of more of the macro, not just pure TA, the more fundamental analysis, correct? So got to be aware of that. Have to be aware of that. Now, in terms of TA, right, on the weekly, we've got a weekly SFP here. We've got a weekly SFP here. We've got a monthly SFP here. So we've got a lot of levels here that are being swept, and price is failing, right? It's failing to give us a bullish reaction, right? We're getting all of these moves above the highs with the closes below. So again, this is our price leg here. The higher low is way down here, right? So we can pull back in here and still put in a higher low. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But the problem is this is a decent amount of distance, right? From here, we could drop another 5 to 10% and still be in higher low territory, right? So you want to be aware that just because you think we're eventually going to trade above 32 doesn't mean we can't trade 5-10% lower first. So you can't just be long and not worrying about the potential downside, because there is potential downside. So based on the weekly chart, I still like 28,500 down to about 27K. So it's a $1,500 window. It's effectively this breaker block here, this up candle before the down move that ran us into this breaker. This is where I would like to see price trade to. And then I want to see bullish price action in here. So I want to see on the lower time frames, right? I want to see the bullish price action occur in this area. So maybe this is on the daily or the H12 chart. I want to see this. Just like within here, right? Remember on here, within here, we saw the bullish price action, right? We saw the high, right? The lower low, the high, boom, right? This is that bullish price action on the H12. That's right here. There's your high, right? There's your low, trade below, break above, MS shift, reclaim. So this is what I want to see occur in this area if price trades lower, okay? So weekly, my plan still remains the same. I'm still short. I took this short in the Haven. I posted about it in Telegram, but basically I just shorted. Once we had the weekly SFP here, went down to the 12-hour. I marked out the 12-hour breaker. I shorted as soon as we got the market structure break below here. So as soon as we got a market structure break below this low, which occurred on that candle right there, I shorted on the pullback. I had additional orders in case we ran above these highs here. I thought maybe we'd get one more spike up. We did not. Now we have 3 highs here, which could get taken out before lower, right? That could definitely happen. We can still come up into here and then sell off. But ultimately, I'm short and I'm not closing. My short is from like 30,250-ish. And my aim is to close some at 28.5 and to close some closer to 27 into this fair value gap here. That's where I'd like to scale out of this short and then look for that higher low to potentially form. Okay, so I'm short Bitcoin. I don't see a reason to be longing where it is right now. If you're just looking at this kind of as a fresh chart here, there's your range low, or you could argue this is your range low. Regardless, we're below it. So as long as we're trading below the range low here, I don't see a reason to be longing this. If we were to reclaim this with some strength, then there's a chance that this is a deviation and you're getting long on some sort of reclaim. But until that happens, this looks like a rejection right now. This looks like it should still trade lower. And based on my view on the dollar, it's confluent with that. So that's kind of the plan for right now on Bitcoin. We've got a fresh 12-hour range here. So now we can delete these. We've got a brand new 12-hour range from this high to this low. So this is my day trading range that I'm looking in. So I'm already in a swing short from up here. From a day trading perspective, I would fade a move above this range high and back in, and I'd potentially long a move below the range low and back in. So forget the swing trade idea where I'm looking to trade it down into here. From a purely day trading perspective, you have a very clear range forming here. And if we fade either of the extremes, there might be a day trade available in the other direction. Okay? So that's my game plan on Bitcoin for now. Ideally, what I would like to see happen is maybe a move up into here and then a rejection and then another leg down, or a sweep of these highs and then a rejection and then another leg down. Those are the main setups I'm looking for. If we sweep here, I would look to take a long, but my bias is to the downside, and I would much rather short a move up because I think that is with the trend right now. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Very simple, very easy, done for you. So that's my swing plan. My swing plan is based on the weekly, right? Weekly SFP, 12-hour breaker, looking to trade down into this weekly breaker. That's the plan there for now. And then the day trade plan is just based on this 12-hour range. And then we would use the hourly chart for our execution, right? So if we get a move up here throughout the weekend into next week, and then we get an hourly trigger to fade, that's where I'd be executing this day trade. Okay, but the swing trade is based on the weekly and the H12. So Ethereum, to me, is very similar to Bitcoin. I still want to see us trade lower. So weekly SFP here, look at the monthly. Traded above the last 2 months high, closed below. We have a big monthly SFP there. So to me, this thing looks like, it should. You have your breaker right here. This looks like it should trade down lower. And just like on Bitcoin, I'm wanting to trade this into here. On Ethereum, I'm looking at something very similar. I'm hoping that this trades maybe a little higher, but eventually trades down into this, 1800 down to 1760 zone at the very least. We've got some lows here that are untouched right there that I think probably get obliterated here. So that is kind of the plan for Ethereum. I still think that this can trade lower. If you look at your 12-hour range here, right? So we had our market structure break there. So there's your high, there's your low. So from a day trading perspective, here's your 12-hour range. We're trading below the 12-hour breaker that caused the weekly SFP. So this is the 12-hour breaker that caused this SFP on the weekly. So this is a weekly SFP up here. Okay. We're trading below that breaker. So if this is bearish, price should theoretically stay below here. Maybe it wicks above, but it should hold below here. And then we should see expansion to the downside. But my initial targets here would be obviously a push below these lows. And then ideally, if we get the big sell-off, I would like to see us trade down to about 1760 on Ethereum. And keep in mind, I could be wrong, right? Like we could go fucking up. Price can go higher. If Bitcoin is able to get a daily close above here, then I will be long biased towards 32,000. It's that simple. So let's say we come up here and we get a bullish close through here. Well, then I'm going to be looking to long this consolidation for a move to here. And yes, that means that I will likely miss, the first 5% of the move. But if I miss the first 5% of the move, but I can catch, the second part of the move, which is, 5 or 6% itself, I'm plenty happy with that. I do not need to catch the entire leg. I'm just trying to catch the meat of the move. So if I have a clear invalidation level, which I do here, that gives me a plan, right? Any sort of weakness up here, I'm fading for a short. If we get strength below here or above here, right, in the form of bullish price action, then I will be long biased from here. I would trade it up into here. If we get strength above this, I would trade it up into 32. And then who knows from there. But I'm not trying to predict that many moves ahead. For now, I'm just trying to predict what is the next most likely move. And what I'm hoping for on Bitcoin and Ethereum is another leg down. So what I need to try and time is, do we get a pop up first and then down, or is it just down from here? I don't know yet. So it's Thursday. We've got the weekend coming up here very soon. We've got the end of the month coming up here very soon. So just in 3 or 4 days. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some sort of move, kind of soon. It looks to me, though, like this consolidation, is breaking down here. Looks like it's breaking down. Sorry. But it looks like this consolidation is breaking down. Okay, so that's the day trade plan for Bitcoin and for Ethereum. Hopefully that's super duper clear for you guys, okay? Overall, I want lower. Simple as that. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So we have the dollar here, right? And everyone was posting doomer charts on the dollar. Doomer charts on the dollar, doomer, doomer, doomer. And your boy, Trader Main, what did he do? He posted the market maker buy model, right? I posted that classic ICT market maker model, the buy model. Now, I personally thought we were going to trade a little bit lower. I thought we were going to come in and tag this, and we still could. We still could make one more leg down. But for now, my idea was that the dollar is due for a big rally. So I had posted this chart on Twitter, and a lot of people didn't like the chart. And that just gave me more confidence that, we were going to probably get a bullish reaction here. So I posted this. I'm like, I think we get a range reclaim, right? I think we get a range reclaim, and I think we trade back up towards, 104, 105. And as you can see here, big bounce, pull back, retest that range low. And now we're getting that, looking like a clear reclaim on the range. So to me, this is a bullish chart. This chart looks much more bullish than this chart, in my opinion. So if you're comparing the two, right? Let's see here. We can go compare against Bitcoin. And then we can do that right. No, I didn't want to invert it, I don't think. Okay. Is this working? Yeah. So you can kind of see it here. Again, it's not always a one-to-one correlation, right? But when the dollar tops out, generally, Bitcoin is bottoming out. When Bitcoin, right, is topping out and starting a downtrend, the dollar is going into an uptrend, right? This is kind of hard to see, so I'm going to uncompare it here. I'm just going to do it this way because I find it much easier. Right? So look at the weekly on these. And I do this all the time, and it sounds like a broken record, but it's just so friggin' accurate, right? Here's the top of the dollar right here. This is the bottom on Bitcoin. Dollar trades down, Bitcoin trades up. Look at the top on Bitcoin here, right? November 2021. Dollar is in a massive uptrend. Bitcoin is starting its bear market, right? When the dollar bottoms, which it looks like it could be doing right now, big range reclaim, looks like it can trade up towards this range high. Bitcoin looks to be struggling and looks like it could trade down. So the correlation, right, is clear. It's not always going to be 1-to-1, right? It's not always going to be that 1-to-1, but in general, these things move inversely because the dollar is the denominator of the fraction, right? So if the dollar is looking very strong, right, this entire fraction theoretically goes down. Not always, right? Because Bitcoin can be even stronger and the dollar can be strong. But in this instance, Bitcoin's looking a little weak, the dollar's looking strong, fraction likely going down. So this is the concern if you're a bull on crypto, is you look at Bitcoin, you say we have all this good news and it's failing to hold above 30,000, and the dollar seems to be reclaiming a range from 6 months ago. So we had this 6-month long range from January to June. We broke down and now it looks like a reclaim. Anytime you see this kind of chart in crypto, what do? Everyone longs it, right? Everyone longs this setup. If this was a half an hour chart or an hourly chart, you'd be longing it. Just like here, right? We had this big range, broke down, reclaim, shot out the other direction, right? So that's the concern for crypto bulls, in my opinion, is that this looks like a pretty strong range reclaim. And if I'm right that this is a range reclaim, we're trading to 103, 104, 105 at least, maybe even up to 106 at the range high. So if the dollar does this, crypto's going down 25K, maybe lower. So something to keep in mind. And on top of all of that, we have the dollar or the stock market potentially starting to put in, signs of reversal. It's still too early to tell, right? Still too early to tell. But if we get some sort of market structure break here on the stock market, on the S&P, so if we get an MSB to the downside here, maybe this is the start of a larger correction. Again, it's too early to tell because look here. We had an SFP here, got a bit of a pullback. We traded way higher. Failure here, bit of a pullback, traded way higher. So that could absolutely be how this resolves. We could pull back a little and then rip again. But if the dollar is going to go up and this is going to trade lower, Bitcoin very likely trades lower as well. So those are all the things I'm watching right now with regard to crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the dollar, and the S&P 500. Now, this is a shitcoin summer video, so let's get into the shitcoins. For the al gods of the world, for the TA doesn't work crowd, you guys know me. I don't really trade shitcoins, right? I trade Bitcoin and Ethereum primarily. Occasionally, I'll mix in some other majors, but I'm not really trading, shitcoins on chain. I'm not really trading low caps. I'm not doing a lot of DeFi stuff. It's just not my edge, right? I know what my edge is, and it's being a friggin' goober on YouTube and market buying and selling Bitcoin and Ethereum primarily, and some Forex pairs. But we have the very first shitcoin summer video, which is, well over a month ago now, month and a half ago. Okay. I drew out this breaker on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu. I said, look, we took out this old monthly low or weekly low, sorry, right? We took out the weekly low. Then I said, if we reclaim this high, you want to buy this breaker, right? And you want to target a new all-time high. We broke above, we tagged the breaker. And where did we trade to? A new all-time high like crazy. This thing absolutely went bonkers, right? Like 10x plus. Obviously, huge wick here right now, but over 1,000% from that video because we were trading down here. And all I did was TA. I didn't look up the coin. I don't know what it does. I don't know anything about the community outside of what I've learned is they do really good memes. It's pretty funny meme culture. I have no idea what anything, I have no idea anything about it. I don't know what the supply is. I don't know what the FDV is. I don't know about the tokenomics. All I did was look at the chart and I did the exact same TA that I do on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but on this random shitcoin. And it ended up working exactly as expected. Now, is everyone going to run like this? Of course not. But the point is that the TA works the same regardless of the asset. Okay? You can use the same TA that I share with you guys every single week on anything with a chart, whether that is some shitcoin called Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu, right? The stock market, the dollar index, a stock like Microsoft, a Forex pair like Euro USD, a commodity like gold or oil, anything can be marked up and charted and you can use TA to find trades on it. Now, something like this, in my opinion, has TA can work, but there's a lot of other factors at play, right? Their small market cap coins can be moved by individuals with enough of a stack. If there's a whale, they can literally manipulate the price. I think obviously, FUD or, rumors of good news, bad news can, manipulate and affect price. Literally the community itself and things like that have more an effect because generally the market cap on these things is relatively small, right? No matter how much money you think you have, you are a peon in Bitcoin. You're a peon, right? Like your order is meaningless. It's a grain of sand at the beach. But on a coin where the market cap is a few 100,000, a few million, right? It's small enough that a order of on a $1 million coin, market cap coin, of 100K order, well, that's gonna have an effect. That's gonna have weight, right? So you have to keep that in mind when you're trading these shitcoins. And something that is, in my opinion, a little bit of I don't know if grifty is the right word, but something you should be aware of is if you see an influencer. I hate that I'm in that category, but it's the truth, right? If you see an influencer, someone with a large following, shilling a coin, right, that has, a very small market cap, and they have hundreds of thousands of followers, you have to, one, assume that they already have a position, right, from a lower price than they're telling you to buy it at. And B, they're banking on the fact that people who follow them are likely going to buy, which will cause price to go up, right? So at the end of the day, I think if you're disclosing properly, like you say, I own this, or I'm in partnership with this, or whatever you decide to do, I think from a morality standpoint, it's a little less shady, but there's a ton of people on Twitter, I'm not going to name names, who tweet out tickers and charts of coins that have a market cap that is less than the amount of followers their Twitter account has. And to me, that's a little slimy because basically it's a guarantee that them tweeting that out is going to cause price to at least go up enough for them to make money by likely dumping on their followers. So always keep that in mind. That's why I try not to talk about any tokens with really small market caps. And you guys would be amazed the kind of shit that you get offered. I've been offered tens of thousands of dollars like for a single tweet about a coin that's got, $500,000 market cap or even like a couple $1 million market cap. And I just don't really feel good about doing that because I think it's morally questionable. Am I judging people who do it? No. I think at the end of the day, the most important thing that you guys should all be focused on is making as much money for yourself as possible, not for other people, not getting followers, not appearing to be right on Twitter. At the end of the day, the reason you are in this space is hopefully to get yourself some level of financial freedom, whether that's a little bit of side income, a little bit extra income every week, every month, or potentially enough money to do this full time, quit your job, whatever it may be. But all that matters at the end of the day is how much money are you getting? That's why I don't give a shit if people are shilling Rollbit, if they're shilling an exchange. I think the whole argument that, well, I shill an exchange, but that's not as bad as someone shilling Rollbit is a joke. Yes, there is a chance that it's more EV, that someone can actually make money trading on an exchange where they're most definitely going to lose money on Rollbit. Guess what? You're most definitely going to lose money on an exchange as well, leverage trading. 99% of the people will. So I think the whole moral high ground, I'm on my moral high horse because I've only shilled exchanges, never a casino, is a joke. It's a casino. Like, of course, you're probably going to lose money. It's a fucking casino. And if you go in there thinking you're going to win money, that's not on the person shilling it. That's on you being an idiot. So I don't really care about that stuff. At the end of the day, I think all of you guys focus on getting your bag. But what I'm telling you is just be aware that this stuff is going on. Okay? Be aware that people who are shilling these low caps, they're already positioned. They're in at a lower price than you. And if it's a really low cap and they got a lot of followers, they're banking on the fact that people like you are going to buy it and they're going to be able to sell into that. Okay? So that's enough of that rant. So does anyone have any questions about what I've covered so far? If not, we're going to start taking some chart requests here from the chat. Let's go, Eric. Happy you're here, bro. How much Molly did you do this past week? All of it. Every single one. Lose brain cells, several. Phil, what's going on, bro? The brain is jello. It's mushy right now. What's up, Dario? CB, what's up? Love you too, music for everyone. Get those tacos in you, brother. David Kaizel, what's up, bro? Crypto Q, what's up, G? It's going good, Victor. How you doing, man? Greg says the BOJ is about to rug all global markets, and we're looking at Bitcoin. JPY USD is where the money is at. Well, let's look at what he's saying here, and let's be the judge ourselves if we think JPY USD is where the money's at. So I usually trade the inverse chart here. This is the one that I primarily look at here. And I was looking to short this thing, right? So the inverse chart, which is the one that he's talking about, is the inverse of this. So that chart is bullish if this chart is bearish, right? Because we've just switched the numerator and the denominator. But I've been looking to short this, as you can see here. And it looks like we're finally getting that sell-off. It pushed a little higher than I wanted it to push, right? So traded above. We traded deep into this fair value gap here. Way up into here. And now it looks as though this is starting to roll over. But if the dollar, right, is going to go up, right? So if the dollar is going to go up, which is the numerator here, that would stand to reason that any charts with USD in the denominator, so this one, USD CAD, if the dollar is going to trade higher, these charts are all going to trade higher. And any charts with USD in the denominator, like Euro USD, the pound dollar, Bitcoin USD, right? Gold USD, these charts should all trade down on dollar strength. When's the next Gamba stream? I would love to bring back the gambling streams. Need Rollbit to offer me a fat fucking payday though. Man, do you only trade derivatives on exchanges, or do you ever go on chain to flip stuff? I do some on chain trading, on chain trading, but not a ton. Primarily, I'm trading on centralized exchanges, trading with leverage, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. That's my bread and butter. But I've bought and sold a ton of shitcoin over the years, obviously, as well. But that's not what I do, full time. I'm much more of a Bitcoin, Ethereum trader, derivatives guy. JPS cool for you says USD JPY is way more volatile than DXY. DXY can go up and USD JPY can go down simultaneously. Of course, none of this stuff is a one-to-one correlation, right? The dollar can go up and stuff numerated and denominated in the dollar can go up too and go down, all the same. Do you ever use flash loans? If so, how do we start? I don't even know what the fuck that is. What do you think of Doge? Will it pump because of X? So, listen, if Elon announces that Doge is going to be the fucking currency, used on X, I don't see how that's not bullish, but I think it's crazy, because does Doge not have unlimited supply? Is there not an infinite supply of Doge? So I just don't know how this could become an actual currency in the real world. That being said, I've seen uglier charts. We have a monthly SFP here. Okay. Monthly SFP here. And so if you go down to the weekly, you say, okay, well, this becomes a weekly breaker if we close July above here, which we clearly are going to. And if we close this week in a few days above here, it looks like this will become a weekly breaker. And if that's the case, I don't see why you can't punt along on any sort of pullback here. Just purely from a TA perspective, I like the setup. We're near the range lows. We had a monthly SFP, and we're going to have a weekly structure shift and a retest of the breaker. So I don't see why it can't be a good buy from a TA perspective. It makes sense to me. From a narrative perspective, of course, there's going to be people gambling on the fact that Elon might say something bullish about Doge with regard to X. So maybe, right? But I'm purely kind of focused on the TA, and I don't hate the Doge chart, right? There's definitely a setup to be had here. Do you use funded account or just personal account? I've used funded accounts in the past, right? But I trade my own personal money and have for a very long time. I think prop firms are great, especially if you're undercapitalized. I think a prop firm can be a way with very little money. You can get access to more money, but the prop firm needs to be a means to an end. You do not want to be reliant on a prop firm because things can happen. A prop firm could go under. You could blow your account on the prop firm by breaking the risk rules and lose that funding. And now all of a sudden you're fucked. So I think prop firms are great. I think there's a lot of advantages to them, but they should be a means to an end. You should be using that prop firm to make money to then fund your personal account, which doesn't have those same risk limits, doesn't have a profit split, things like that. Fiat has an unlimited supply. It's the annual inflation rate that matters more, but fiat is not Dogecoin. they're not the same thing. If someone hypothetically lived in the US, what would be a good sex for trading with leverage? Well, you would have to find one that even allows you as a person who's hypothetically in the US to access it. My understanding is most sexes have the United States geo-blocked, so you can't even go on the websites. So there's other things you can do, 3-letter words that I'm not gonna, potentially spell out, but it sounds like, potentially a V and then a P and then an N in there that you can use to then get access to those. There's lots of things you can do, but I'm not even American, so I don't know what to tell you. A CT called sex now. I don't know, man. I hate CX now. I hate it. I'm still going to call it Twitter. I'm not calling it X. Okay. Let's look at... Hey man, how do I learn to read charts better? Watch every single video I have on YouTube 1,000 times in a row. It's probably your best bet. But yeah, I teach my entire system in my live streams. You just got to go watch the old videos. There's markets with main videos and Ethereum and chill videos and just market updates going back to 2018 at this point. Over 500 videos. Lots of them I explain exactly how I trade, exactly how I mark up the charts. Do you trade Forex? If so, what exchange do you use? I do trade Forex, and the broker I'm primarily trading on is called Oanda, but I use some other ones as well. I use one called MyFX Choice as well, and then I also trade Forex on Prime XBT because you can trade Forex with crypto as collateral there. It's non-KYC'd. Love your content, brother. It's Baba. Thank you, Young Milka. Appreciate that. Okay. What is a chart you guys would like me to look at here? Let's see. Someone say comp. Let's take a look at comp. Yeah, I like this chart. I like it. Okay, so we have a big run of a low here. And then at the monthly close here, we'll have a monthly MSB. Okay. So we'll have a monthly break in market structure on the monthly close. Now we have a weekly breaker way the fuck down here that I doubt, is getting filled. This is well below price. But if we have a market-wide nuke, and move down into here is one that I would probably try and buy the dip on because this is an area where price should have a bullish reaction. But we're going to have a monthly bullish market structure break, and you have a weekly order block that has now been formed here. So if you're bullish on this market, we took out last week's low. Okay, we took out last week's low, and we're trading within a weekly order block. So if you're a bull on this market, I think you want to be looking for reasons to get long once we get a close through this high. So if we can get a close through here, I think any sort of pullback is probably a long opportunity on this thing. Alternatively, if this fails to get a bullish close and this remains an SFP, then maybe we're going to pull deeper into this weekly order block. And then I would look for some sort of sweep below this low here. But if we get a bullish weekly close, so you want to see the weekly close above, what's the level here? $72.94, $72.94. So you want to see a bullish close through there. Through here. If not, then maybe we get a pullback deeper. But for now, I like the chart. I like that we have this monthly sweep, And then we're going to have a monthly MSB. It makes me want to look for buy the dip opportunities on something like this. Could definitely get a pullback first, though, deeper into this weekly order block. But I think as long as we're within this weekly order block, you want to be looking for reasons to long. WLD. Oh, is this that Worldcoin? Okay, first of all, if any of you guys are even considering going and getting your retina scan, you're an idiot. Don't do it. Sam Altman is such a fucking fed. It's unbelievable. First, this guy creates ChatGPT and all this AI shit, which is 100% tracking your data and going to find ways to fucking fuck us in the long run. I 100% believe. Now he wants to collect your biometric data. He wants to scan your eye for some crypto. Fuck that. Fuck that guy. Yeah, I mean, just from like a feeling, I want this coin to go to zero because fuck him. But, excuse me, that was gross. I just burped right in the mic. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm not interested in longing this thing unless it's trading back above here. If it starts trading above that gray box, then I might look at looking to long this thing, excuse me. But until then, no interest. This looks bearish for now, and there's just not enough price history here for me to really make a determination on, you know, what's going to happen. Raul Tesla says, I got my iris scanned already, and I put all my private API on the internet with my social security number. All right, Raul. Well, you know, welcome to the Matrix, brother. I wish you luck. Would you ever take a small loan out to buy spot for the next cycle if you know you can pay it back, but you don't have the money now? So how do you know you can pay it back, but not have the money now would be the first question I'd ask. So this is a difficult one. I think taking out a loan to buy crypto is probably one of the stupidest things that you can do. Because what happens if you take out a loan to buy one Bitcoin, you take out a $30,000 loan, and then Bitcoin goes to 10K. Now you owe $30,000 on collateral that is no longer worth $30,000. Now, in an ideal world, taking out a loan before the bull run starts and then that collateral that you bought with that loan increasing and appreciating, that's the dream, obviously. But the likelihood of doing that, pretty low. And I think borrowing money to buy crypto is extremely fucking stupid. That being said, I did exactly that. So I'm being a hypocrite. I maxed out credit cards, lines of credit, any money that I was able to get my hands on, and I shoved it before the 2017 bull run, and it worked for me. So it's hard to say that it's stupid, but if it didn't work, it would have ruined me. So, you know, trying to give you good advice, I would say it's very dumb and don't do it, but I did do it. So there. Do what you will with that information. Slay Poppy, sorry for switching topics, but how's Shambhala? Shambhala was incredible. Highly recommend everyone go at least once if it's in your vicinity. It's a really, really special festival. Really good time. Better out than in, I always say. Shrek also says that. Like, didn't, Peter McCormick take out a loan or something to buy more Bitcoin or to buy a house or a car or something, and it went horribly wrong? And what about all those people that took out loans on Anchor, right? Or and shit like that? There's just so many things that can go wrong, right? So many things that can go wrong. But yes, I'm saying there's a chance. Instead of saying don't do it, you should say how to do it safely. Well, you tell me, Chung Lee, what is the safe way to take out debt to buy a highly speculative asset? What's the safe way to do that? Mushrooms or acid? How about both? Both. Okay, let's look at AMP. My M key is busted and it's super fucking annoying. I think you got a pretty clear level there that you would want to see reclaimed before getting super bullish high time frame. But from like a day trade perspective, there's your 12-hour range. And then here is your 12-hour demand. So if we were to come down to this lower gray box, you could look for a long because the market structure is technically bullish here on the H12. So if we get a move down into here, I don't see why you couldn't look for reasons to get long on the lower time frame, targeting that range high. But from a high time frame perspective, anything below this old low to me is not good until we get above there. If we get above here, right, then this starts to look like some sort of big deviation, and then things get exciting again, right? Where's my link chart that I drew that was beautiful? Link. Remember this? This is from one of the first Shitcoin Summer Stream videos as well. Right? Trading below that old range. Back inside. Now it's moving up. Looking super bullish. So Link looks good, right? Any sort of pullback on Link into here, I would like to buy for higher prices. Maine is still going strong in his 40s. I'm not 40, bro. Not yet, at least. I got a few good years in me still. Few good years in me still. Maine, do you always use the most recent swing point, not the lowest swing point that broke market structure? So it'd be really helpful if I did a market structure video of shorts that explained exactly what I do to mark up market structure. But I'm lazy. There's a couple ways that I look at market structure. For my H12, H1 system, I take the most recent swing high and the most recent swing low. And that is my range. Now, for your kind of standard market structure, right? Generally, I will actually look for the leg that caused displacement, right? So the leg that caused kind of the expansive move through an old high or old low, and that would become my range. And then I'm looking for a pullback of that. So there's kind of two separate ways that I do it. One way would be, okay, like let's say, like this is way one. My H12, H1 system would say this is your high and this is your low. Right? That's not a good example. Let's see here. Where is a good example of this? Sorry, guys, one sec. I'm trying to find an example where this makes sense. Let's go over to gold. Something that's not crazy here. Okay. So for my H12, H1 system, technically, this is your low, and then this is your high. And then there's your range. Whereas I think a much more accurate range is probably from here to here. Right? So like same thing here. Like this is your most recent high. This is your high. Excuse me. This is your low, and this is technically your high. There's your low, and there's the next swing high. But to me, this from this to this is a more accurate representation of the actual market structure. So to answer your question, it depends on the situation. Sometimes when I'm trading my H12, H1 system, I'm using the most immediate swing high and swing low. The reason I like that system is because there is very little room for variability. There is very little room for confusion. You take the most recent 3 candle swing high and the most recent 3 candle swing low, and that is your range. However, when I used to do market structure, and sometimes when I'm looking at, kind of larger price legs, like on Bitcoin right now, for example, technically, this is your weekly range would be, from here to here. And then when that low breaks, it's from here to here. And then when that high breaks, it's from here to here. But in reality, to me, the weekly range is probably here to here, right? I would say that is a more accurate representation of the weekly price leg than all of those little ranges in between. So it really kind of depends what you're trying to do. From a trading perspective, I'm generally taking the most immediate range high and range low. But when I'm looking at larger swings on the market, again, like this to me, this high to this low, that is your price swing, right? But the most immediate swing is this. So which one is right? Right? Is it this price leg or is it this? So it depends on the situation and what I'm looking to do. But for my H12, H1 system that I primarily trade these days, it's the most immediate level of each. How can I donate so you notice me? You don't have to donate. I'm noticing you right now. Tomo is still trending up. Let's take a look. Becoming 420 says, bro, can't sign up to Prime XBT. Is there another way to join your Discord? Just DM me, bro, and let me know that you were in my video, and I will get you in there. Yeah, I mean, this has been trending up for a while here. Looks like we kind of had a blow off the top there, though, right? With that crazy move, like this move up to 250, and now we're trading, 50% lower than that. Big sweeps here on the upside. So that would be my concern, is that looks kind of blow off the top-ish of that rally. But, we have weekly demand, which we're tagging right now. Go down to the H12 chart. And I would say that right now, this is the H12 range that I would be focusing on. So I'd be watching for price to pull back into here and maybe sweep this low. And then if it gets a bullish reaction, there might be a long. But, this is a little bit But yeah, 12-hour, this is an uptrend on the 12-hour within this small price leg here. This could just be a retracement into this leg before further down. But for now, if we get some sort of pullback here and a reclaim of the low, I like that as a potential long. Kiki. And some of these shitcoins look decent. Okay, so we ran the low on the weekly, right? Ran the low on the weekly. Put in a weekly breaker here, and this played out already quite nicely, right? MSB on the weekly above here. So that looks bullish so far. Yeah, I don't really know how to get in this right now. I would need to see some more PA. Some sort of pullback, though, would be the only way. I can't justify longing this right here. But looking kind of bullish. I like the weekly sweep, and then I like the structure shift here as well. So some sort of pullback on this could be interesting. Now remember, if Bitcoin's going to nuke, right? Like if my thesis on Bitcoin is right and we trade up a little and then we nuke, all of these altcoins where I'm mapping out potential longs get fucking destroyed. So just keep that in mind. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Personally, do you think if you had 10K, could you turn it into 200K just spot in the next bull run? Yeah, I think I could. I mean, listen, if Bitcoin, let's say, is going to 100K, let's assume then Ethereum is going to go to, 10K. Well, that's a 5x just holding spot Ethereum alone, right? So that 10K already is already at 50 if you were just in Ethereum. So could you find some altcoins, spread your risk across? If I had 10K and I was only going to trade spot, I would build a position in Ethereum, and that would be my core position. And then I would look to buy some other altcoins like Solana, and then ideally some new stuff that maybe doesn't exist yet or is still quite new narrative stuff, AI tokens, things like that. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, a 20x return is definitely doable. Is it easy? No. Is it possible for most people? Probably not. Most people are not ever going to be able to get a 20x return, right? But remember, in the last bull run, Bitcoin itself did a 20x from 3,000 to 60,000. So it's definitely doable. How exactly do you determine demand? What do you mean by that? Let's see here. I've checked Caspa in a bunch of the videos, guys. Yeah, maybe Unibot. Maybe Unibot is that coin. I got shilled Unibot for when it was dollars, and the founder of the company was DMing me, telling me how it's awesome and telling me I should buy some, and I ignored it, and I feel like an idiot because now it's up bigly, and Rookie keeps reminding me that I fumbled the bag yet again. Marcor says, you're my fave streamer. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Thoughts on LTC currently? Got daily bullish divergence, but in a downtrend plus OB. I think LTC looks like shit, right? Like LTC looks weak and the halving's coming and it's not bullish at all. So I don't think LTC looks good personally. I'd be very concerned that this isn't going up, right? The narrative was to pump into halving. Halving's in less than a month and it's not been going up. Let's see, Bobo. Okay, it's on here. Jesus, the fuck is this? I mean, I don't even know how to chart this, to be honest with you. There one that looks less weird? Is this not the same coin? Is this a different coin? Which one of these is right? There's so many of them and they all look different. Oh, these are Bob. That's Bob. This is Bobo. I mean, which one of these is the true Bobo? Will the real Bobo please stand up? So this one is chartable, right? At least. Pretty basic to me, right? Any sort of pullback into here is where you would want to learn to long this thing. But I don't even know if this is the correct Bobo. There's so many Bobos. So I don't know. Imagine buying Bobo coin. That's what I said about Harry Potter, Sonic, Obama, 10 Inu. And then it went up 4,000% and I didn't buy any. So never say never. OP USDT. Yeah, so I charted this one. I said I wanted to see it either trade down into here or reclaim 150. And it looks like it's reclaiming 150 right now. So that analysis remains the same for me, basically. You know, again, holding above 150 here. If we can hold above 150, I think your invalidation is below 140. If we start trading below 150, I think you then look to long the gray box. So that analysis remains the same. ID. This guy says 12-hour SFP H1 MSB. He's not wrong. It's kind of moving already, but you could argue it's got to go pretty high for you to get decent risk reward on this. Like that's a pretty big move, 15%. But that would be the setup. I don't know. I would like to have a tighter stop. I would probably do that. And then you don't need to go nearly as crazy. But yeah, looks okay. I mean, I think the ideal entry was in this gray box though. So does it come back? Have we missed it? I don't know. But the H12, H1 is definitely there. Rosemont wants to see noise. Noise? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time charting something that looks like this because there's just not really enough data. I mean, I don't know. You could argue needs to hold. I would say it wants to hold above here. Gray box needs to hold the gray box. We swept here. I don't know. This needs to go up from basically where it is. I would like to see that wick be the low, I guess, if this is going to go up. But yeah. I don't know. Don't love that chart. One I do like for short soon here. Matic. So there was the short idea that I had posted. I don't even know when I drew this initially. I think this was on a Shitcoin summer stream. Monthly OB, monthly SFP, right? 12-hour breaker. Came up into it, rejected off hard. And to me, I think this thing still trades lower. I like this for shorts. So I like Matic for shorts, I think. This looks like a big old bull flag, right? Big old bull flag, or bear flag, excuse me. Send it lower. Ape retesting H12 blocks from last stream. I don't remember charting ape at all. Yeah, I don't know. This chart looks bad. There's a lot of nicer charts to long than this. Look at this on the monthly. Like, why would you want to long this when there's so many of the coins that look way less shitty? You keep saying demand zone. You just say that it's the demand zone. How do you know? Where does it say in trading view? It's not what you... It's not a thing in trading view. It's TA. That's TA in general, right? You're marking out supply and demand zones, and the way I identify them is price action, right? BNB looks sketchy still. Like, what happens to Binance? What happens to Binance if we lose the lows here, right? So, I don't know. I'm not really interested in longing BNB at all. Weekly SFP right there. Go down to the H12. We're trading below the breaker. Right? We're trading below the breaker right now. We have an H12 MSB. So you could argue that this thing's already a short. Risk reward's not the best. So maybe you wait for some sort of, H12, H1 type of setup. So this is a sweep right here. Then maybe you go down and you look for, an MSB down here. So we have your raid. I would want to see, a market structure break below there. And maybe that's a short. I don't know. Or maybe this short is this larger swing short still. I don't know. But I don't love how BNB looks. Don't love how BNB looks. Anyways, guys, we're an hour and a half in, so I'm going to call it here. Hopefully, there's some value in this one. I think I covered some good stuff, especially at the start with regard to BTC and Ethereum. Game plans are clear. Covered a bunch of altcoins. I'm going to be back with another stream tomorrow for my Markets with Mainstream, so the standard stream. So make sure you tune into that. Yeah, I'm home for the next month. So lots more videos, more consistent, 3 videos a week at a very minimum. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for the sponsors, Smartx. Check them out. Info in the description of this video if you want to know more. If you got any questions, let me know. But yeah, if you guys want to support me, support the channel, check out the description of the video. Use the links in there. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, obviously on YouTube. Like, subscribe, leave comments across all the platforms. All that stuff really helps me out. The more engagement I get, the better things look. So if you want to support me, that's the best way to do it. All right, guys. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. I'm going to go drink water and rest my brain and continue to recover.